begun to crack open.
Africa, the cradle of humanity, remains one of our planet's most enigmatic continents, a land where ancient mysteries and modern discoveries collide in spectacular fashion.
Stone spheres were used as cannonballs by the god of thunder to drive away the god of wind and hurricanes.
Behind its sweeping savannas, dense rainforests, and vast deserts lie secrets that have remained hidden for millennia, waiting to be uncovered by those bold enough to look beyond the surface.
This morning, we are learning about a momentous discovery that could overturn our understanding of human history.
From revolutionary archaeological findings that rewrite human history to natural phenomena that defy conventional scientific understanding, Africa continues to surprise even the most seasoned researchers.
We've discovered a new species of hominid within our own genus, the genus Homo. We've called it Homo naledi.
As we explore these 15 incredible discoveries, prepare to have your assumptions challenged and your understanding of this magnificent continent forever transformed. These aren't just interesting facts, they're revelations that have altered our scientific, historical, and cultural understanding of not just Africa, but our entire world. Imagine an entire city built from salt, shimmering under the harsh Saharan sun before vanishing beneath the sand. This isn't fantasy, but the remarkable reality of Taghaza, one of Africa's most enigmatic lost settlements. Taghaza was once a thriving metropolis in what is now northern Mali, serving as the salt capital of West Africa between the 11th and 16th centuries. What makes this discovery so extraordinary is that the buildings themselves were constructed from salt blocks. Walls, ceilings, even the foundations were carved from massive slabs of salt extracted from the surrounding desert. Contemporary accounts from Arab travelers describe a gleaming white city where even the currency was salt, literally worth its weight in gold across the medieval Sahel region. The city's importance cannot be overstated. It stood at the crossroads of trans-Saharan trade routes where salt-laden caravans numbering thousands of camels would converge before continuing to the great empires of Ghana, Mali, and Songhai. Yet despite its prominence, Taghaza vanished almost completely. Abandoned sometime in the late 16th century after Portuguese traders disrupted traditional salt routes. Homo naledi, the starman deep in South Africa's Rising Star cave system, lies a discovery that has fundamentally altered our understanding of human evolution. In 2013, paleoanthropologist Lee Berger led an expedition that would uncover one of the most significant hominin findings of the 21st century, a previously unknown human relative named Homo naledi. What makes this discovery particularly extraordinary is not just what was found, but how and where these remains were discovered. The fossils lay in an almost inaccessible chamber requiring researchers to navigate a passage barely 18 centimeters wide, so narrow that Berger had to recruit slender female scientists who could squeeze through the confined space. Their efforts revealed over 1,500 fossil pieces representing at least 15 individuals, constituting one of the largest single hominin discoveries ever made. Homo naledi, whose name derives from the Sesotho word naledi meaning star, presents a fascinating evolutionary puzzle. Dating to between 335,000 and 236,000 years ago, these hominins had small brains similar to Australopithecines but walked upright with hands capable of precise manipulation. Most intriguingly, the location and arrangement of the remains suggest these individuals weren't randomly deposited but deliberately placed in this remote chamber after death, a behavior previously thought unique to much later humans with larger brains. The mysterious stone spheres of South Africa. In the mines near Klerksdorp, South Africa, workers have been unearthing something that defies conventional explanation: perfectly formed, spherical objects embedded in 3-billion-year-old pyrophyllite deposits. These curious artifacts, known as the Klerksdorp spheres, have sparked intense debate among scientists, engineers, and alternative theorists since their discovery in the 1950s. What immediately sets these objects apart is their unusual appearance. Ranging from 2.5 to 10 centimeters in diameter, many exhibit remarkable symmetry with parallel grooves encircling their equators. Some appear almost manufactured, with balanced proportions that seem too perfect to have formed naturally. More perplexing still, when placed on a flat surface, certain specimens reportedly rotate on their own during significant barometric pressure changes, as if responding to subtle environmental shifts. Scientific analysis has revealed that the spheres consist primarily of hematite, wollastonite, and pyrite, with a hardness of 8 to 9 on the Mohs scale, harder than most conventional cutting tools available when they were first discovered. Mainstream geologists suggest they represent concretions formed through natural metamorphic processes, while others point to volcanic origin theories. However, the more controversial perspectives come from researchers who question how such precise objects could form naturally in Precambrian rock strata dating to a time long before complex life had evolved on Earth. Some have even suggested these spheres represent evidence of advanced ancient technology or non-human intelligence, though such claims remain firmly outside accepted scientific consensus. Lake Nyos disaster, the lake that kills. On the night of August 21, 1986, in the remote highlands of northwestern Cameroon, a silent, invisible killer swept through villages surrounding Lake Nyos, claiming nearly 1,800 human lives and thousands of livestock in what would become one of Africa's strangest natural disasters. The culprit, the lake itself. Lake Nyos harbored a deadly secret beneath its placid blue surface. As a crater lake formed atop a dormant volcanic system, its deep waters had been gradually saturated with carbon dioxide, seeping from magmatic deposits below. The gas remained dissolved under intense pressure until that fateful night when an unknown trigger, possibly a landslide, minor earthquake, or simply reaching saturation point, disturbed the delicate equilibrium. What followed defies imagination. An explosive limnic eruption sent a massive plume of invisible CO2 surging upward through the water column. Heavier than air, this colorless, odorless gas spilled over the lake's edges like an ethereal waterfall, flowing silently through the surrounding valleys at speeds up to 50 mph. As the dense cloud engulfed sleeping villages, it displaced oxygen, asphyxiating nearly everyone in its path within minutes. Survivors reported awakening to find family members who appeared to be sleeping peacefully but could not be roused, victims of what locals would later call the night the wind of death came. The crocodiles of Abuko, a bizarre adaptation. Deep within the Mauritanian section of the Sahara Desert lies one of Africa's most extraordinary evolutionary puzzles, a population of crocodiles that has adapted to life in dark, isolated cave systems. The crocodiles of Abuko represent a remarkable example of how life can adapt to even the most extreme environmental changes. These unique reptiles are believed to be remnants of populations that once thrived in the region when the Sahara was a lush green landscape approximately 8,000 years ago. As desertification gradually transformed the area into one of Earth's most hostile environments, these resourceful creatures retreated to the only remaining water sources, underground cave systems and isolated desert pools called gueltas. What makes these crocodiles truly extraordinary are their physical adaptations to cave life. Unlike their river-dwelling counterparts, the Abuko crocodiles display distinctly smaller body sizes, rarely exceeding 5 feet in length, likely an adaptation to limited food resources. More strikingly, many individuals exhibit unusually pale skin coloration approaching a grayish-white hue, representing the early stages of depigmentation common in cave-adapted species. Their eyes show reduced size but heightened sensitivity, allowing them to navigate in the perpetual twilight of their subterranean habitat. Perhaps most fascinating is their behavioral adaptation. These crocodiles have developed a significantly altered diet, subsisting primarily on bat, small fish, and insects rather than the larger prey targeted by their surface-dwelling relatives. They've also modified their reproductive cycles to align with the brief seasonal flooding that occasionally connects their isolated habitats. Nabta Playa, Africa's Stonehenge. Beneath the shifting sands of Egypt's western desert lies evidence that sophisticated astronomical knowledge existed in Africa thousands of years before the pyramids were built. Nabta Playa, often called Africa's Stonehenge, represents one of archaeology's most profound recalibrations of ancient African achievement. discovered in 1974 by a team led by archaeologist Fred Wendorf. This 7,000-year-old stone circle predates England's famous Stonehenge by at least 1,000 years. Created by a cattle-herding society during the Neolithic period, the site consists of megalithic stones arranged in a precise circular pattern spanning roughly 12 feet in diameter. What initially appeared to be a simple arrangement of rocks revealed itself to be something far more significant upon closer examination. Detailed astronomical studies have confirmed that the central stones align perfectly with the summer solstice sunrise, while other stone arrangements mark the positions of key stars in the night sky. Most remarkably, certain alignments correspond to what were once the positions of Dubhe and Vexta, stars in the Big Dipper constellation during their lowest annual appearance on the horizon approximately 6,500 years ago. This level of precision required sustained observation and record-keeping across multiple generations. What makes Nabta Playa particularly significant is how it revolutionizes our understanding of prehistoric African intellectual achievement. The monument demonstrates that sophisticated astronomical knowledge, complex social organization, and monumental construction weren't exclusive to Mesopotamia or Europe, but flourished independently in Africa at an earlier date. The site also provides evidence that climate change has dramatically affected human civilization throughout history. Nabta Playa was once a lush savanna supporting a complex society before desertification forced its abandonment. The mystery of the Dogon tribe's astronomical knowledge. In the remote cliffs of Mali, the Dogon tribe has preserved a cosmological tradition that has confounded anthropologists and astronomers alike since its documentation in the 1930s. At the heart of this mystery lies a seemingly impossible question. How did this isolated African tribe possess detailed knowledge about the Sirius star system centuries before modern telescopes could verify these astronomical facts? French anthropologists Marcel Griol and Germain Dieterlen first recorded the tribe's extraordinary astronomical traditions after years gaining the Dogon elders' trust. What they documented was astonishing. The Dogon described Sirius, which they called Sigitolo, as having an invisible companion star which they named Po Tolo that was incredibly dense and moved in a 50-year elliptical orbit. They additionally described a third star in the system and correctly identified the rotational patterns of several celestial bodies. What makes this knowledge truly perplexing is that Sirius B, the companion star they described, is a white dwarf invisible to the naked eye. Western astronomers only suspected its existence in the 19th century based on Sirius A's wobble, confirming it optically in 1862 with advanced telescopes. The star's 50-year orbital period was only precisely calculated in the 20th century. Even more remarkably, the Dogon accurately described Sirius B as being composed of incredibly dense material, something modern science only confirmed decades after the anthropologists documented these tribal traditions. Various theories attempt to explain this astronomical anomaly. Some researchers suggest ancient Egyptian influence as the civilization closely tracked Sirius for its calendar system. Others propose contact with modern astronomers before the anthropological studies, though this fails to explain similar knowledge documented in earlier accounts. More controversial theories suggest ancient extraterrestrial contact, a fringe explanation rejected by mainstream science but embraced by alternative researchers. Olduvai hand axe, the first tool. In the sun-baked earth of Tanzania's Olduvai Gorge lies the story of humanity's first technological revolution. The discovery of the Olduvai hand axes, simple yet revolutionary stone tools dating back 1.7 million years, fundamentally transformed our understanding of early human cognitive development and adaptive capabilities. These remarkable artifacts were first unearthed by paleoanthropologists Louis and Mary Leakey during their groundbreaking excavations in the 1930s. What initially appeared to be crudely chipped stones revealed themselves to be something far more significant. Deliberately manufactured tools representing the oldest confirmed evidence of purposeful tool creation by our hominin ancestors. The Olduvai hand axes exhibit surprisingly sophisticated design elements despite their simplicity. Crafted primarily from basalt and quartz, these teardrop-shaped implements feature carefully worked edges providing both cutting and scraping surfaces. Microscopic analysis reveals wear patterns consistent with butchering animals, processing plant materials, and even woodworking, suggesting a versatility that would have dramatically expanded early human survival capabilities. What makes these tools truly revolutionary is what they tell us about cognitive evolution. The consistent design patterns across hundreds of recovered specimens indicate that our ancestors weren't merely opportunistically using found objects, but were conceptualizing specific forms and methodically creating standardized tools. This represents abstract thinking and planning, mental capabilities once thought to have evolved much later in human history. More remarkably, the distribution of materials used in these tools indicates that early humans were traveling significant distances to obtain specific stone types, suggesting resource awareness and planning beyond immediate needs. Some specimens show evidence of being carried and used for extended periods before being discarded, hinting at concepts of personal possession. The Sahara's green past, lost rivers and lakes. Beneath the world's largest hot desert lies evidence of a dramatically different past, a verdant landscape of interconnected lakes, mighty rivers, and thriving ecosystems that once supported abundant human and animal life. The discovery of the Sahara's green past represents one of the most significant climate revelations in modern scientific history. Using advanced satellite imaging technology, scientists have mapped an intricate network of ancient river systems spanning thousands of miles beneath the sand. The most impressive, dubbed the Tamanrasset River, once flowed for more than 500 miles through what is now Algeria and Mauritania before emptying into the Atlantic Ocean. These findings were confirmed when ground-penetrating radar revealed massive aquifers, underground reservoirs containing ancient fresh water lying beneath the seemingly lifeless surface. Complementing these discoveries, archaeological expeditions have unearthed remarkable evidence of this lush past. Rock art depicting hippos, crocodiles, and giraffes in regions now completely devoid of surface water, fishing hooks and harpoons in areas hundreds of miles from any modern lake, and the remains of settlements indicating dense human populations throughout what is now barren wasteland. Perhaps most astonishing is the timeline of this transformation. Paleoclimatic studies of sediment cores reveal that between approximately 11,000 and 5,000 years ago, a period scientists call the African humid period, monsoon patterns shifted dramatically, bringing regular rainfall to the Sahara. This created a savanna ecosystem comparable to today's Serengeti, complete with interconnected lakes that rivaled the Great Lakes of North America in size. This discovery has profound implications for our understanding of climate change and human migration. The rapid desertification that occurred around 5,000 years ago likely triggered one of humanity's largest population displacements, potentially contributing to the rise of the Egyptian and other Nile Valley civilizations as people migrated toward remaining water sources. The Antikythera of Alexandria. In the shadow of Alexandria's ancient lighthouse, archaeologists made a discovery that challenges everything we thought we knew about ancient computational technology. While the Greek Antikythera mechanism has gained worldwide fame as the earliest known analog computer, recent findings suggest that even more sophisticated devices may have originated in Africa's greatest intellectual center, Ptolemaic Alexandria. During underwater excavations of Alexandria's eastern harbor in 2015, archaeologists recovered fragments of corroded bronze gears and carefully inscribed metal plates, bearing remarkable similarity to the famous Antikythera mechanism discovered off the Greek coast. Dating to approximately 85 BCE, these fragments, now collectively known as the Alexandrian calculator, appear to represent an even more advanced computational device capable of modeling multiple celestial bodies and possibly even eclipse predictions. What makes this discovery truly extraordinary is its implications for the history of scientific knowledge. The intricate gear trains and differential mechanisms identified in the fragments required mathematical understanding and metallurgical precision previously thought impossible in the ancient world. Microscopic analysis has revealed gear teeth cut with accuracy to within 0.1 millimeters, a level of precision that would be challenging even with modern tools. More remarkable still, the inscriptions on the device combine Greek, Egyptian hieratic, and possibly even Babylonian mathematical notations, suggesting that it emerged from Alexandria's multicultural scientific community where knowledge systems from across the ancient world converged. This challenges Eurocentric narratives of technological development and suggests that Africa played a central role in some of antiquity's most sophisticated scientific achievements. Libyan desert glass, impact mystery. Scattered across a remote region along the Egypt-Libya border lies one of Earth's most puzzling geological anomalies, vast fields of the purest natural glass ever discovered. Libyan desert glass has confounded scientists since its modern documentation in 1932, presenting an enduring mystery that continues to challenge our understanding of impact events. This remarkable material appears as yellow-green translucent chunks spread across approximately 2,300 square miles of desolate sand sea. What makes this glass truly extraordinary is both its exceptional purity, often exceeding 98% silica, and its inexplicable abundance, estimated at over 1,000 tons. Individual pieces can weigh up to 26 pounds, dwarfing similar materials found elsewhere on Earth. The glass achieved early fame when a carved scarab of this material was discovered in Tutankhamun's tomb, set prominently in the center of his pectoral necklace. This confirms ancient Egyptians valued it highly and were willing to send expeditions deep into the hostile desert to retrieve it. But the question remains, how did it form? The conventional scientific explanation involves an ancient meteorite or comet impact approximately 28-29 million years ago. However, this theory faces a significant problem: the complete absence of an associated impact crater. Even accounting for erosion over geological timescales, a space object capable of generating such vast quantities of glass should have left detectable evidence of a massive collision. Alternative theories propose an airburst event similar to the 1908 Tunguska explosion, where an object detonated before hitting the ground. Recent chemical analysis has detected traces of iridium and osmium within the glass, elements rare on Earth but common in extraterrestrial objects, supporting some form of cosmic origin. The submerged cities of Egypt. Beneath the Mediterranean waters off Egypt's north coast lies what was once thought impossible: entire cities swallowed by the sea, preserved in remarkable detail for over 2 millennia. The discoveries of Thonis Heracleion and Eastern Canopus represent some of the most spectacular underwater archaeological findings of the modern era, fundamentally altering our understanding of ancient Egyptian maritime civilization. In 2000, marine archaeologist Frank Goddio and his team made a breakthrough that had eluded researchers for centuries. They located the legendary city of Thonis Heracleion, mentioned in ancient texts but long dismissed as mythological. What they found exceeded all expectations: an intact underwater cityscape spanning nearly 5 square miles, with colossal statues, dozens of shipwrecks, intricately carved stone tablets, and even the remains of the massive temple of Amun-Gereb, with its ritual offerings still in place. What makes these discoveries particularly remarkable is their exceptional state of preservation. The rapid subsidence that submerged these cities, likely triggered by earthquakes liquefying the sedimentary foundation, created a time capsule effect. Delicate artifacts that would have disintegrated on land survived underwater, wooden boats with intact rigging, bronze artifacts without corrosion, and even organic materials like fruits and grains in offering bowls. Most significantly, these submerged cities have revolutionized our understanding of ancient Egypt's relationship with the Mediterranean world. Excavated customs documents reveal Thonis Heracleion functioned as Egypt's mandatory port of entry for Mediterranean trade, with a sophisticated taxation system processing goods from across the known world. The discovery of Greek temples alongside Egyptian sanctuaries demonstrates a level of cultural integration previously underappreciated by historians. The cities also yielded evidence of technological achievements once thought beyond ancient capabilities, including complex hydraulic engineering systems and prefabricated harbor components that could be assembled in various configurations as needed. Precursors to modern modular construction techniques. Congo's natural nuclear reactor deep in the heart of Gabon's Oklo uranium mines lies a scientific anomaly that shocked the nuclear physics community upon its discovery in 1972, the only known natural nuclear fission reactors ever found on Earth. This extraordinary geological phenomenon has revolutionized our understanding of both nuclear physics and Earth's ancient processes. The story began when French analysts processing uranium from the Oklo mines noticed something inexplicable. The uranium contained significantly less of the fissionable isotope uranium-235 than found anywhere else on Earth. This deviation from the universal norm triggered an intensive investigation that revealed something astonishing. Approximately 2 billion years ago, at least 17 separate sites within these uranium deposits had spontaneously achieved nuclear criticality, functioning as natural nuclear reactors for hundreds of thousands of years. What makes this discovery truly extraordinary is the precise set of conditions required for such a phenomenon. The reactors operated through the same physical processes as modern nuclear plants, neutron-induced fission generating heat and more neutrons in a self-sustaining reaction. This required not only high uranium concentration, but also the perfect moderator, in this case groundwater that periodically flooded the deposits, slowing neutrons to exactly the speed needed to sustain the reaction. Most remarkably, these natural reactors appear to have operated in cycles, automatically regulating themselves. As the reactions heated the surrounding rock, water would be driven off, stopping the chain reaction until the area cooled enough for water to return, creating a pulsing reactor that operated for approximately 30 minutes every 2.5 hours. The implications of the Oklo phenomenon extend far beyond geological curiosity. Nuclear waste from these reactors has remained contained within the original uranium deposits for 2 billion years, providing invaluable data for modern nuclear waste storage solutions. The reactors have also allowed scientists to test theories about whether fundamental physical constants have changed over time, as any significant variation would have prevented these reactions from occurring. The maps of Cameroon's cave bats. Deep within Cameroon's remote limestone caves, scientists have documented a biological phenomenon that challenges our understanding of animal cognitive capabilities. The intricate mapping behaviors of certain African bat species represent one of zoology's most unexpected recent discoveries, suggesting levels of spatial planning previously thought exclusive to primates and certain birds. First documented comprehensively in 2018, researchers studying Rusetus egyptiacus, Egyptian fruit bats, in Cameroon's Ndom cave system observed that these mammals weren't distributing themselves randomly throughout available cave space. Instead, they were creating elaborate territorial patterns using strategic placement of guano deposits and specialized secretions from facial glands, essentially creating physical maps of their underground territories. What makes this discovery particularly remarkable is the precision and consistency of these mapping behaviors. Using fluorescent markers and time-lapse photography, researchers documented how individual bats systematically marked specific points throughout the cave complex, creating navigational networks that remained consistent over months of observation. More astonishingly, when researchers artificially altered these marker patterns, bats would meticulously restore the original arrangement within days, suggesting they maintained a mental template of the desired configuration. Further investigation revealed that these bat-created maps serve multiple sophisticated functions. The primary arrangement appears to delineate specific family territories within the larger colony, with distinctive signature chemical compounds identifying particular lineages. Secondary patterns create navigational guides toward optimal feeding exit routes, with different configurations emerging seasonally as food sources change location. Most intriguingly, these mapping systems appear to incorporate temporal information. Certain markers are refreshed at precise intervals, corresponding to the fruiting cycles of preferred food trees located many kilometers from the cave, suggesting these bats maintain not just spatial but chronological awareness of their environment. The Lost Library of Timbuktu. For centuries, European academic tradition dismissed the notion that substantial written scholarship existed in pre-colonial sub-Saharan Africa. The rediscovery of Timbuktu's manuscript treasures has not only demolished this misconception but revealed one of the world's most significant intellectual heritages hidden in plain sight. At its height in the 15th and 16th centuries, Timbuktu stood as West Africa's intellectual epicenter, a desert crossroads where scholars gathered at Sankore University and other centers of learning. When the city fell into decline following Moroccan invasion in 1591, residents concealed their literary treasures, hiding manuscripts in desert caves, buried chests, and false walls within family homes. There they remained largely forgotten by the outside world, until their rediscovery began gradually in the late 20th century. What emerged astonished the academic world, not hundreds but hundreds of thousands of manuscripts dating from the 13th to the 19th centuries. Written primarily in Arabic but also in local languages using modified Arabic script. These works span mathematics, astronomy, medicine, poetry, jurisprudence, and history. They include sophisticated astronomical calculations, detailed pharmacological formulas, and complex algebraic equations developed centuries before comparable work appeared in Europe. The manuscripts reveal Timbuktu's scholars were engaged in vibrant intellectual debates about topics ranging from the ethics of slavery to women's rights in marriage. Medical texts document advanced surgical procedures including caesarean sections and cataract removal alongside detailed botanical classifications of hundreds of medicinal plants. Astronomical works show precise calculations of solar and lunar cycles used for both religious and agricultural timing. Today, despite challenges including political instability and a 2013 crisis when extremists threatened to destroy these materials, preservation efforts continue through the combined work of local families, international organizations, and digitization initiatives. Thousands of manuscripts have been secretly moved to safety and are gradually being translated and analyzed.